Hunter Biden and his Ukrainian gas firm colleagues had multiple contacts with the Obama State Department during the 2016 election cycle. Gee, the State Department. It's almost like the State Department is doing something as well that no one in the State Department wants out. It's almost as if this Burisma thing is something that you could throw Joe and Hunter Biden under the train tracks. Just don't involve the State Department. You know what's unfortunate? I just thought of this, completely unrelated. The State Department happens to be the target of our next special next Wednesday. It's crazy. Completely unrelated to this, I'm sure. Anyway, they had multiple contacts with the Obama State Department during the 2016 election cycle, including one just 30 days before Vice President Joe Biden forced Ukraine to fire the prosecutor investigating his son's company for corruption. During that February 2016 contact, a U.S. representative for Burisma Holdings sought a meeting with the Undersecretary of State, Catherine Novelli, to discuss ending the corruption allegations against the Ukrainian firm where Hunter Biden worked as a board member. Now, these are just memos that were obtained under a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit. Just 3 weeks before Burisma's overture to the state, Ukrainian authorities raided the home of the oligarch who owned the gas firm and employed Hunter Biden. A signal the long-running corruption probe was escalating in the middle of the U.S. election. Hunter Biden's name, in fact, was specifically invoked by the Burisma representative as a reason the State Department should help. Now, this is only according to a series of email exchanges among U.S. officials trying to arrange the meeting. The subject line for the email exchanges simply read, Burisma. Per our conversation, Cara Trantamonto of Blue Star Strategies has requested a meeting to discuss with the U.S. State Department. Novelli, USG, remarks alleging Burisma, Ukrainian energy company, of corruption. The email between state officials read, she noted that 2 high-profile U.S. citizens are affiliated with the company, including Hunter Biden as a board member. And quote, Taramonto would like to talk with Novelli about getting a better understanding of how the U.S. came to the determination that the company is corrupt. According to Taramonto, there is no evidence of corruption. There's been no hearing or process, and the evidence to the contrary has not been considered. Now, at the time, Novelli was the most senior official overseeing international energy issues for the Department of State. The undersecretary position, of which there are several, is the 3rd highest ranking job at the State Department. He was a lawyer working for Blue Star Strategies, a Washington firm that was hired by Burisma to help end a long-running corruption investigation against the gas firm in Ukraine. Tratamonto and other Blue Star official Sally Painter, both alumni of the Clinton administration, worked with New York-based criminal defense attorney John Beretta to settle the Ukraine cases in late 2016 and 17. Burisma Holdings records records obtained by Ukrainian prosecutors state the gas firm made a $60,000 payment to Blue Star in November 2015. The emails show Trandamonto was scheduled to meet Novelli in March of 2016 and that State Department officials were scrambling to get answers ahead of time before the meeting in Kyiv. Records don't show whether a meeting actually took place. The FOIA lawsuit is ongoing, and state officials are slated to produce additional records in the months ahead. But the records do indicate that Hunter Biden's fellow American board member at Burisma, Devon Archer, secured a meeting on March 2nd, 2016, with the Secretary of State, John Kerry. Oh, so they just went over everyone's head. Quote, Devon Archer is coming to see S today, that's Secretary of State, at 3 p.m. Need someone to meet and greet him at C Street. The memos don't say what the meeting was about. In an interview with ABC News last month, Hunter Biden said he believed he had done nothing wrong at all. The stepson of John Kerry, Christopher Hines, had been a business partner with both Archer and Hunter Biden at the Rosemont Seneca investment firm in the United States. Hines, however, chose not to participate in the Burisma dealings. In fact, he wrote an email to his stepfather's top aides in 2014, pointedly distancing himself from the decision by Hunter Biden and Devon Archer to join Burisma. Hines' spokesman recently told the Washington Post that Hines ended his relationship with Archer and Biden partly over the Burisma matter. The lack of judgment in this matter was a major catalyst for Mr. Hines ending his business relationships with Mr. Archer and Mr. Biden. So it looks as though the whole thing where Joe Biden says there was no investigation, we now know that the Secretary of State, the State Department, knew that there was an investigation going on. In fact, that investigation was going to look into Hunter Biden next, and they needed to get a handle on it. That kind of works against the narrative of the press and the Democrats, doesn't it? But again, this is not about Hunter Biden. If we allow this to just become about Hunter Biden, we lose, because it is much, much, much deeper. Hunter Biden is there. They'll throw Hunter and Joe to the wolves to keep you off track of what's really happening. And by the way, did I tell you, completely unrelated, that we have a special about Ukraine and the Department of State? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And again, that's completely unrelated
Completely unrelated.
Burisma stuff.
You don't want to miss that. That's a week from today. A week from tomorrow. Next Wednesday, and join the Blaze TV. I think I'm getting news today that we have hired an independent investigative reporter, somebody with real credentials, to be able to help us get some more information on this, because the can of worms that we accidentally opened up just by looking at the facts is pretty intense. And we thank you for the ability to do that. It is your subscription that helps us do that.
And it's looking more and more solid every day.
Oh, yeah.
Every day.
I mean, everything that's coming out, the whistleblower verifies absolutely everything on that chalkboard. The new FOIA details that come out here show absolutely positively we're right. This one shows, what I just read to you shows that it is the State Department. The State Department is on the front line trying to cover this stuff up. Yeah. Why? Why is the State Department doing that? We know the answer. They don't want you to have the answer. You're not going to like the answer, but it's why you cannot allow this to become just about Joe Biden and Hunter Biden.
And again, the State Department really is the deep state that everybody talks about. You don't have to look at like the Bilderberg organization or Illuminati or any of that. The State Department is the deep state.
We already have evidence of that. We have two people who have testified that in their testimony, the part that was supposed to, make Trump look so bad is these State Department employees that say, we have a plan and we are moving forward on that plan, and the president doesn't have a right to stop that or to change that.
And of course, it's the president who sets the policy, not the State
not the
Department.
State Department. But the State Department is so arrogant that they believe this so deeply that they are in charge of U.S. policy, that they are willing to say that in their own defense.
And that's why it's so ludicrous when you hear things like Yovanovitch talking about the president undermining their policy in Ukraine. What?
It's not your policy.
It's not your policy. You're not the one who sets the agenda. It's the president of the United States. You work for him. You're undermining him, if anything.
And you know what's amazing is when you see what we've uncovered, this came from Clinton, Obama, Sam Power, Soros. And the new policy
Talk
that
about
was
the usual suspects.
Oh my gosh! Wait until you see this, Pat. This will boggle your mind. They sat down, and we have the records, and they put together a new policy. Now, we are missing something because there is something that is classified that the president could declassify, and I think he will be wildly motivated to do so. Wildly motivated to do so when someone ties all of this together and the American people understand it. Then the American people can say, declassify this, Mr. President. And when he declassifies it, it will open this story wide open. And the State Department and the Democrats, Obama, Hillary Clinton, Biden, all of it will be exposed. And you are not going to like what it's going to show. But it has to be rooted out. It has to be rooted out. We do that next Wednesday. Please help us do that by joining The Blaze. You can join us now at blazetv.com/Glenn, blazetv.com/Glenn. Use the promo code Glenn, and you'll save $10 when you sign up.